Hi guys, so today I decided to do a Celtic cross. I don't normally do them just because this is kind of like my training. I do Celtic crosses for myself to kind of sharpen my skills and kind of get a feel for how I view myself and the energy in that way. But I thought, I'll just do something a little bit different. The cards on the other side, I don't have a lot of room on my little desk. I had to take a picture at work, and this is my lunch. So this is where we're at right now. But anyway, so let's just get started. So in the first position, we have the King of Cups. And I have them all covered up. I probably shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. So this is representing somebody who is kind of being looked at like in a positive light. This is somebody who people look up to for inspiration. This is somebody who leads in a way of not being rash and not having those quick judgy feelings in situations. Like when it gets tense or it gets emotional, this person is not swayed. They're centered. They're calm. So the waters are calm. This is a very calm and not so much stoic in a way that they're cold. This is kind of like just being able to be unbothered, yet being compassionate at the same time. And so what's crossing is the Three of Pentacles. To me, this says that whoever this person is, this King of Cups, this is somebody who is able to kind of use their resources. They're able to kind of make a masterpiece out of what they have around you, right? You're able to kind of gather your resources and your influences and create nothing out of something, right? Or something out of nothing. Being able to adapt and create beautiful things in chaos sometimes. This is somebody who's able to get out of like tricky spots, using their wits and their knowledge and being very crafty and utilizing things in a good way. At the foundation, we have the Queen of Cups. So maybe this is somebody who is in some sort of like divine partnership, since we do have the Lovers and the Two of Cups in here. Who knows? But I also feel like this could be somebody that's inspiring this person, or this also could be this aspect of the person that is being amplified, that intuitive and psychic part of ourselves. This is somebody who is very much into their nurturing aspect. So whether this is somebody around you, if this is this somebody that you are kind of being asked to kind of take on a little bit more of that aspect, or if this is a part of you as the foundation, this is somebody who is in their fields. I feel like this is being initiated in that deeper, watery, feminine part of ourselves. This is definitely somebody who is maybe getting a little bit more of their gifts coming online. I feel like that kind of feels like that's what this is. This is somebody who is, as the King of Cups, we're able to kind of control those emotions so they don't go overboard. Because sometimes with the Queen of Cups, she kind of like, takes it all in, and a lot of times gives it out, but depending on what's part of you, sometimes you can be a little bit too giving. But a very positive and a mature Queen of Cups is somebody who's able to give it in such a beautiful way and tap into that and kind of be like a conduit for spirit, I feel. This is somebody who is able to give that compassion and that beautiful feeling that you get when you kind of are in tune with those parts of yourself, that psychic and compassionate part of yourself. It's almost like, since we have that leadership of the King of Cups, we're also having the leadership of the Queen of Cups. Now, this is the foundation. So this is, this situation is maybe we're kind of leading people into understanding like the gentleness of things and being able to kind of intuitively tap into the real deal, why things are the way they are, why they feel the way they do, why people act the way they do. You're being able to kind of tap into that and kind of figure out the situation better than if you were just acting through impulse, right? And not really being that observer like you can be. So I feel like that's what this is saying, is at the foundation, we're really being able to tap into all those parts of those psychic and watery parts of ourselves. And at the recent past, we have the Three of Wands, which to me says this is somebody who's always had a passion for adventure. This is somebody who's always been thrilled about expanding, somebody who's really wanted to explore, whether that be spiritually, emotionally, physically. This is somebody who has the drive for more, right? That's always been something that's kind of meant a lot to me, is like I always loved expanding on things. I'm fascinated by literally everything, and I feel like that's what this person is doing right now too, is a love for that is causing this person to kind of tap into other things and kind of test the waters, so to speak, and reach out with those feelers in every direction to kind of get the all of it and absorb it and make it their own. And with the Chariot crowning you, I feel like this is somebody who is really understanding where their path is, what part of this expansion and this real balance and ability to kind of take things in and not let it absorb you, but also allow yourself to kind of be absorbed into things, right? You're getting all of yourself, all of your psychic and intuitive and beautiful emotional self into everything that you do. And it's not a bad thing. This is somebody who has that control of the king. So we're able to kind of differentiate between this is mine and this is theirs, right? But at the same time, the beautiful understanding of experiencing everything too, especially with that Three of Wands. I feel like that's where kind of this person is. And so it's kind of like, I don't have the High Priestess, but it's kind of that observer feeling in a way. But she's a little bit more back, but I feel like this is somebody who is immersing themselves in all of everything that they're doing right now. This is somebody who is completely absorbed and in a positive way. I don't feel like this is negative at all. So, and we have 3-3 here, so maybe that means something to somebody. Maybe you're 33, or maybe 3 is your life path number, or 33, and maybe that just means something to you. But with those Three of Pentacles, being able to use those resources around you and that ability to kind of like, make something out of nothing. And then we have that expansiveness of the Three of Wands with this beautiful balance of watery energy in a way that we can just, tap in and get the all of everything. I think this is beautiful, whoever this is. As the near future being the Four of Swords, I feel like this is somebody who is really understanding how to not let what's happening around them get to them. You're kind of mastering that. And so this might bother somebody around you. This might be something that maybe somebody is kind of, they might look at you and think like, why are they not bothered by this? You know what I mean? And I feel like you're being asked to, whoever this is, whether this is collectively or somebody who resonates with this, you're kind of being asked to kind of like just maintain that. There's nothing wrong with not being bothered. You know what I mean? It takes somebody like that to kind of see the higher ground, which is kind of ironic because I always think of the Ace of Pentacles, which is the next card, as my higher ground card. But no, I feel like somebody is really understanding what it means to just, let it be, right? With the Four of Swords, you're kind of resting that mental aspect of ourselves. We're not letting it take us over. We're not ignoring it. We're sitting with it and being able to, again, tap into it in a healthy manner. And so in our 7th position with our emotions, I feel like this is saying that, with the Ace of Pentacles, this is something that is, we have Ace of Pentacles is always like my higher perspective card. This is my like, if it were a bird other than the crow, which I think the crow is a good representation because I love the crows, but it's like an eagle card. It's like having that higher perspective, that being able to master the understanding of your situation. That's kind of what I think of when I think of the Ace of Pentacles, especially in this deck. It's being able to grasp the concept of where you are and what you're doing and how you're feeling, and not, again, being able to kind of be that observer, but in a workable way. You're not ignoring the situation, you're working with it. And it's that upper knowledge and that inner knowledge and being able to use that in your day to day. So as your emotions and your current self, I feel like this is also saying that, you're kind of looking at this new situation, because this could be like a new situation or a new opportunity. You're kind of looking at this as an opportunity to kind of, either make a change in the world or work on a goal in your life. Or maybe it could be in a situation where, because we have a lot of lovey-dovey cards at the end here. So maybe it's something in a situation in your relationships where, those connections or those blending of those two parts of ourselves, maybe this is how you're kind of getting that understanding of how that works, right? And so in the 8th position, we have the external forces, what's influencing you and what not. And we have the 5 of Pentacles. So, a lot of times we think of 5 of Pentacles as lack. Sometimes, like in the rider way, you can see how, they're actually at the Hierophant is in the building, and the poor people are on the outside. And when really all they have to do is knock on the inside and ask for help. And all he has to do is come out and help. So sometimes that's what that's about, is like, not being afraid to ask. It's not so much about lack. And I think also, since this is about external forces, this can be a little bit about that indifference people kind of think that you have. You might look like you don't give a crap, but you do. You just aren't letting it bother who you are. You're not letting it paint who you're being, right? You're not allowing the situation around you to, discolor your water, so to speak, not allowing that to influence who you are. That's what I get out of this. And I also feel like it could also be something where, you're kind of looking at things in how you can assist these people without getting too emotional, other people or the situation without getting too emotionally attached. So, and number 9 is usually our hopes and desires, what we kind of, either we're hoping for something or what we fear. And I don't like to do negative, but we have the 2 of Cups. So for me, this feels like you are really kind of working on your bond either with somebody else, or this is something saying that like there is a strong bond that is kind of influencing the situation. Maybe you do have somebody in your life who's kind of helping you make these understandings and who's backing you up and kind of supporting you, so you're able to have that higher perspective. Because a lot of times when we don't have that support, it takes a lot to build that support on the inside. But when you do that, it doesn't hurt to have somebody else around you either. I also feel like this could be that inner blend between, the 2 sides of ourselves, that there's always, the inner outer, there's the masculine, feminine, there's the light and the dark, right? We're being able to meld that into a whole person. And I think that's beautiful. But since we do have the Lovers at the 10th position, which is your outcome, what we kind of are looking for and what our ultimate goal for is, if we kind of like we're going on this path, I feel like this is being able to interact with that other person or have that relationship be that much stronger, because if you're doing all these things, you are not reactive. You're looking at situations in a positive way. You're being that person that you want that other person to be in a relationship, right? But instead of like forcing that person to be that way, you are being that person for yourself. So that in turn creates that person to kind of see that in themselves. It's a good way in which the mirror works. So this also could be you're being able to kind of have that connection with your higher self, with spirit, with God, universe, whatever. And that's really kind of maybe something that you're working on. Because when we do that, like when you're in love, and not to make it about love, but when I think of love and when you're loving that person unconditionally, that's how we are loved innately. And I feel like when you understand that, you receive that in, so many beautiful ways. It's kind of like, if you believe in that concept that we're just the universe experiencing itself in its many, many ways, then if you are able to love somebody in that way, then you get to have that love back and you experience what that feels like at the core. Sorry to be that way. I'm one of those people that really loves their husband. So, anyways, so I thought I would go and do 2 herbal astrology oracles just to kind of, add a little bit to it. And then we have number 20 with Lavender, the Weaver. Upright, the Weaver is weaver of potential, new beginnings, intuitive intellect, contemplative phase, emotional fulfillment, and walking in alignment. So yeah, somebody is definitely in some major alignment right now, or they're working towards it. So if you're not feeling it and this does resonate with you though, just keep on your path. You're getting there. And then we have number 45 with Mandrake, sensuality. Now, sensuality, it doesn't have to be like sexual or whatever. That's being able to feel in the most honest and deepest way. Honestly, that's what I feel like sensuality is. It's being able to express and feel and be completely yourself and okay with feeling things and feeling that deep pleasure of just being yourself and expression and that connection to all things. That was a lot, but but that's how I feel. And so this is Neptune and Venus, that watery spiritual self with love. But upright, it's sensuality, discovering new forms of intimacy, finding the inner beloved, expression of healthy sexuality and abundance. Yes, sensuality also is like inviting yourself to be celebrated, right? Not just by like somebody else or other people, but by yourself, exploring yourself and how you feel about things, how your body and your emotions respond to things, and just what it is to be human, right? What it is to be that great, beautiful part of being alive that I think a lot of times we get distracted when so many things are happening. But if we're able to get to that point, that's the true essence of life. But again, this could be somebody who is just super aligned and in a relationship with somebody else who is super aligned. So if this just isn't about one person and yourself and your way to just be, this is somebody who is in a relationship that is like this if it's not with yourself. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope this meant something to somebody today. I thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you later.